Yes, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, are we live? No, wait, hold on. Yes, so we are live all the way around. All the way live. Cool, so what's going on, everyone? I am Mr. Soul of a Man. I hope everyone out there is doing good on this Wednesday. Let's see, hold on, let me. What's up, man? Ma'am, how are you? It's been a while. Let me see. All right, maybe that'll hold. We'll see. Yeah, so man, so we're live. So today, folks, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Well, that said, if you're feeling like a go dust your shoulders off, get that dirt off your shoulder. So today we are talking about from chaos to clarity, lifestyle overhaul that shocked everyone. Hey, what is going on, Mr. CJ Inspires? How are you? So today we're talking about we're talking about major life overhauls that are coming. Well, that are happening now, in your life and the things that you are seeing transpire in your life. Some of the stuff you can't believe it. Like the person that I had the person I had on my podcast. What's going on, Mr. Derek Williams? So the person I had on my podcast yesterday, man, man, the work that it's like you're really being rewarded for the work, and you're seeing the fruits of your labor, like really and truly manifest, like really, 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 and truly, you're seeing the fruits of your labor manifest, and this is, honestly, you know, not saying for a lot, but for some of us, this is just the beginning. Like the beginning of the beginning. Like the stuff that's going to be coming, the stuff that's going to be happening is going to blow you away. It's not just going to it's not just going to blow you away, but it's going to, the people who, because you didn't have any money at the time, and they gave you a ride, and they were like, "Man, get out." And y'all were halfway to the journey. This was like before Uber and all that stuff. You know what I mean? You're like, "Hey, you gonna make me walk? Man, get out." That's how people treat you. But these are gonna be people who are just gonna, have their mouths wide open when they look at you and they see all of the miraculous things that you've done. Just getting up and moving on a whim. The times that we're living in now, they're like, "Man, how in the world did you move from here to there?" And you have a brand new, I don't know, house, condo that's paid for, that you're renting, a car, all of these things, man. So we are, we are, I can just say God is just amazing, man. God is truly, truly amazing. He's made us powerful, and he made us like so wonderfully made in all of the things that we are doing, and all of the things that we are pursuing, in our lives. And it is, he will always take care of his children, no matter what. He sees the battlefields that we're on. I just get winning, winning, winning. I just get, that we are going to just continue to win. And if you feel like I feel, like the time, you feel like, it's just an amazing time, like for this to happen, because it's it just feels like for a lot of people there's just so much doom and gloom out here, and I see what's going on, but I know who is in control. I get the wind beneath your wings. So you have divine winds all around you. You have the breath of life in your body. So you're continuing. You're continuing on your journey is from here moving forward. It's continuous. Thank you, computer. So your journey from here to the next levels is continuous. seriously, without you blinking an eye or taking a second step, and you just going out there and you just going out there making it happen. And some of your defining moments are going to be, what is that saying when they say, show me the people that, something like, show me your friends, or show me the people that you hang around, and it'll tell me who you are. So it's just the people that's surrounding you. And it's one thing. Somebody told me last night was that you never know what how people are speaking of you in certain rooms. And they said there was a certain person, I don't know, they were saying something, and so they had to go and correct them and clarify, because and these people are, I don't know, but you sometimes you have these amazing and powerful people in your corner that will get people, like, really get people together, because they're speaking whatever about you and your name and all of that good stuff. And they don't, they really, they feel like they know you, but they don't. Maybe because they were around you for, I don't know, a few whatever at your job, but when we go to these jobs, a lot of these people, they don't see the real us. They just see, like, what we give them, and it's not a lot. We show up, we do what we have to do, we make our money, and we go. They don't see. These are not people that are honored enough to see the truth in our light. They can feel, they when they see you, they know that there's something different about you. They know that you're always laughing. You want to smile. You brighten the place up. You know what I mean? And you might have ran into people like this, and it's like, it's interesting. It's like, soon as these people soon as these people aren't there anymore, it's like, I don't know. It just the place just isn't the same anymore. So that's you. And your life has, all of the things that you've been through, all of the things that have helped you transform, to this moment. And there are probably still some things that you are unaware of. Let me see. I'm trying to get this thing together here. Yeah, so there's, definitely some things about yourself that you're probably, that you're definitely, that you are definitely unaware of. And these are powerful and amazing things, that are saying that, you're really and truly about to set it off. You're setting it off now. You probably don't realize that there are people that are watching you, like, right now, how you move, what you're saying, how you're posturing the people around you. Of course, they can't see everything, but the things that they can see with their, like, human eyes, so to speak, it's like, you'll, even where you are now, there are people that would love to be you. They would love to be in your positions, but they don't have, they don't have your gifts. They don't have that faith. They don't have your calling, and that's it. You've been given, like, you've been given access to some of the greatest people, the greatest things that are yet to come in your life. Even, you see, like, these little sparks. What's going on, Miss Weed? How are you? Even, you see, like, these little sparks that are going on in your life and stuff like that. It's like, if like, if you are, I don't know, like, if you've ever had something happen, you're driving a vehicle, something's happened to it, and you're like, that don't sound right. You're one of these people. You don't mess around. You go and take it straight to to the mechanic, and you've always, it's interesting. People can't pull the wool over your eyes. It's really like they can't pull the wool over your eyes. They've tried. I've been in situations where people whatever, but it's like they will. They can try, but like when uh Jesus, Yahshua was 40 days, 40 nights fasting and praying and all of that, and the devil tried, but it don't necessarily mean it's going to work. That it's going to go through, that it's going to come to pass. But without the shadow of a doubt, all of those things that you have been asking for, all of those things all of these trials, man, all of these trials, this is an accumulation of the greater things that are to come. Some of y'all are gonna be walking away from your careers, and people are gonna look at y'all like, man, you doing this now in this economy. Like for some, you like you really gonna be doing things that are going to we're talking about, from chaos to clarity, lifestyle overhaul that shocked everyone. So you're coming into some major overhauls in your life. The people that are going to be surrounding you, the time of celebration. I think I talked about this before. That movie, I think it's called like Everything Happening All at Once, something like that. You know how they talked about the multiverse and how there's all of these alignments between you and all of your other selves, and and all of that stuff. So, but that's a whole conversation for another day. But yeah, so you are about to, you've asked for it, so you've got these things coming. You've asked to be you've asked to be put into the mix. It's man, it's almost like you sounded it's almost like you sounded this horn. It's like you sounded this horn. They heard you, and it's like you're having all of these miraculous changes that are just happening in your life. That are just happening and happening, and one step happens, the next step happens, and the important thing is the important thing is to see it through, and to continue to move, and not, don't quite, we're always going to have questions about things, but you're in the process, and you're in a season of elevation, leveling up. These are going to be your shock and awe moments. The people who you're going to be reaching out to, the yeses that you're going to get, and the yeses. Nope, can't do that. Yeah, but the yeses that you're going to get, and the yeses that are going to come through like very fast. I mean, very, very, very fast. Because you've been thinking about making some changes anyway. So they're these are things that are going to start coming to pass. Because you and I'm getting that soldier boy. Tell him you seriously, man. I'm telling you, boy. It's going. It is about to pop off. Um, it's about to it is about to pop off. It is about to pop off in a major way. Um, I'm getting in silence, but very golden. I'm getting, in silence, but very, very, very golden. Very powerful things that are happening for you, through you, to you, and in your life, and not, and for you, and for those people around you. For the people that who you truly care about. You're going to be able to change people's lives. And a lot, people are, but these are going to be people who truly deserve it, truly, have that desire to go and do righteous and great things in their lives. These aren't people that I get test the spirit by the spirit. So these aren't people. Um, these aren't people who you say like, oh, look, I'm gonna help you with this, but you're not gonna need them to sign like a non-disclosure, you know, because you don't you. I don't know. I just feel in this, like the season now, you don't want everybody knowing everything that you have going on. Seriously, you don't. That's why it's quiet, but it's very powerful. It's very silent, but it's very golden. It's very golden in nature and golden in and it's very golden in nature and golden in stature, so to speak. How are we with the? And I'm also getting by his design. Let me take this thing off of here because sometimes it just. Yeah, I'm also getting by. I'm also getting by his design. So this is very powerfully calculated, man. This is very, very, very powerfully calculated. This is, this is just something that it's we describe it as miracles because it's miraculous how these things are going to be happening, for you, in your life. Things that you've totally forgotten about. I'm telling you might have reached out to this person, these people months ago, weeks ago, and you probably, it's like you're in a process of it's like you're in this process of moving so fast, doing so much, you probably forgot all about that you reached out to this person or this business or this business entity, and these are individuals that can come in and change the landscape. These people like, hey, we've been watching, and we're blown away by how you do things, and we want you to, it's like these people, we want you to come in and do X, Y, and Z, and help us put together this and that, and you know you don't have to be you don't have to be like you, whatever it is that you do, you're glorious. It's like glorious, victorious. You're a genius at what it is that you do. You are. If nobody's ever told you that, I'm telling you, you are a genius. You are a genius at what you do. You are. And if you would have had, like, if people, how, like, how you see like these little kids graduating, skipping grades and going, being 9 years old and going to MIT, you would have been like one of those kids, and what it is that you do. If the right people could have gotten, surrounded you and just, man. But for a time like this, you are going to be more than well rewarded. The rewards, um, the rewards that you have coming are greater than us. Like, it's vast. It is like vast. This is like it's really going to blow your mind. That's why we're talking about, from chaos to clarity, lifestyle overhaul that shocked everyone. A lot of it that you looked at, you probably was like, this doesn't make any. It's not going to make sense. It's gonna feel right, yeah. But when it's like, I look at you and I see us. I look at it's interesting, and I'm like multi-streaming, but it's like you look at it and it's like, it's like you say, man, it's like people. It's almost like, a star is born. A star is born like within a twinkling of an eye. You getting and receiving all of these things because you're not going to. I'm getting the first level. is the first level is celebration. The first level is celebration. It's almost like saying, start to it's almost like saying start packing, start celebrating. You're moving. It's like somebody just shows up with a big check and says, "Oh, I'm the lawyer." Like you see in those movies. I say, "Oh, I'm the lawyer representing such and such," and you're like, "I don't know anybody by that name." And they just, they try to explain it to you, whatever, and they just give you a big check. So, but this is based off of there's I don't know, it's just so much, man. There's just so much that there's just so much over a lifetime getting like Mansa Musa level type stuff. He was the king of Mali. I think he owned a lot, but he had a lot of gold, and he yeah he was like, I don't know, he just had a lot. They say he had like the most money ever for an individual, something like that. But just to say, people are going to be thrown off when they see you meeting with, this person and that person. You're being invited here, you're going there, and you're moving. Um, right? She says, "I claim that big check." Yeah, we all claim that big check. We all claim like let that kind of fortune. You know what I mean? Like, I think I was talking about the last time. Like, you'll hear people say, "Oh, people that have like a bunch of money and stuff like that," and they hang out with all the cool people. That money isn't everything. Well, you can say that when you have it, but when you really don't have it like that, it's something different. So we gonna see, and I'm telling you, that tone is going to change when people say, "Oh, like money and blah blah blah." It's like, yeah, money is, yeah, of course, money is very very important. Of course, so is your health and your spiritual health and your relationship with God, your relationship with yourself. Seriously, how you believe in yourself and how you move and all of that. But you're going to put a different spin on the whole adage of yep, I'm claiming that too. You're gonna have a whole different adage on that whole, like, money isn't everything. It's you know but it is really who you surround yourself with. And that's the beautiful thing. You're surrounding yourself with, like, just amazing people, man. Like see um these people who see, like, greatness in you. You're gonna have, like, it's almost like, like for Thanksgiving, you eat at your own house, but you still have so much food, and you go by other people's houses and they give you like plates and plates and plates of food, and you go home and you're like, what am I gonna do with all this food? You know what I mean? So it's gonna be like that. May that fall on, may that's coming. That's how it is. Having all of these yeah, they're saying knowledge is power. Your external currency comes from your internal currency. That's true. So so you're going to be making moves like a rich person. Um, so yeah, you're going to be, you're going to be making moves like a rich person. So you're the next up. You're the next crop of, because there's this guy I see on social media, and he runs up to people and asks them about. He just interviews them for like a minute or two, and he's like asking them about being rich and and all of that stuff. So you're gonna be on that level, man. Like, really and truly, like, people are gonna legit know, like, people are going to legit know who you are. You're gonna be the talk about, like, even when you go home, it's going to feel different. It's going to feel, because people are going to, you're going to have to almost like reintroduce yourself to people, because you're on a different level. You're on a different, like, hey man, we just saw you and such and such hanging out with such and such. What are you doing here? You're like, oh, I'm just passing through. So and they know how life is. These are people, when these were people probably in the in crowd in high school, and these were people who would see you from time to time, and, oh, what's going on, man, what's going on? They're gonna know, like, well, they're not gonna know everything, but they're gonna have a sense of who you are now, what you have going on, like, really, these they're gonna have a sense of who you are, and it's going to be astounding. It's going to be really, really, really astounding. Yeah, so that's why we're talking about from chaos. I was thinking about that old show, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, but like chaos to clarity, lifestyle overhaul that shocked everyone. So it's even gonna shock you. You would be like, I can't, you know, you. There was that old show Ducktales with Scrooge McDuck. You remember how he had like a, man, he had a vault, like a big old, he had a giant vault. He would just dive and swim in. And nobody else could do this but him. That's you. Like, you're going to be, because he knew it was his stuff, and he knew how to handle it. Like, he knew that lifestyle. He just knew it. And anybody else that would try to dive in there, they would get hurt. But he would swim through this stuff like it was like water. And that's how it's gonna be, for you. Like, it's gonna be it yeah, very very much so, changing times for you in your life. So what did Miss Wheat said, your internal currency comes from your internal currency. So look within. It's really time for you to look within, because you know you're you're just on a different level now. You are not the same person. You are not the same person. You are you know everything that you have been through. It's like when that person left your life, they're like, oh, you know how people say, oh, you're never gonna be. I don't know. They have this thing of, what do they call them, narcissists these days, where people come in your life and they'll say, like, oh, well, it's never going to be, well, once I leave your life, you're you're not going to be the same, or you're not going to be able to do all, they that's what they thought, that's what they thought. But you here, you are still alive, still breathing, still doing great and amazing in your life, and things are categorically climbing, and things are moving very, very, very fast in the spiritual and the supernatural, to the natural, like, seriously. And somewhere you may run into these people again, maybe on social media, I don't know, but they're gonna see you and they're like, you're not, man, something's different, it's like, not they see there's no arrogance about you. It's like there's a quiet calm. Somebody told me this last night, but there's a very quiet calm about you, and it's like they look at you and they're like, something in their mind is like, man, that's something, something different, whatever. But there's this quiet calm, and it's this confidence that you have, and it's like, it just naturally, it clicks on, it just naturally, like, it naturally clicks on, no matter what. It's like people can't help but, I don't know. It's one thing now, but you're gonna start drawing crowds. You're in different ways, in different aspects of your life. People are gonna know you. Like they're gonna know you by they're gonna know you by your works, by your vision. There's a greater, there's a peace. It just feels like there's just this, it's like the Holy Spirit. There's just like there's this peace. There's this peace that is just over your life. There's a peace that is over your lineage, your children. There's a peace that nobody, there's a peace that nobody can understand. I don't know, something comes blowing through your neighborhood. Your house is the only one that's standing. You're like the you're like the only one that, it's like, well, the neighbors come running and, like, hey neighbor, did you, did your house take any damage? They're like, oh no, we're fine, but it's your man, through everything, that you've been through. It's like you have everything now to run a Fortune 500 company. You do. So whatever that is, everything, it's like, they say there are levels to this. True. We had to go through what we had to go through, learn what we had to learn, but you are being elevated. We are growing, therefore growing is occurring. Yeah. It's happening. Um it's like, it's like this fire. It's like this fire. It's like people are gonna see you. They're gonna see your success, and they're gonna say like, "Wow, man, you've done so much. You're so bold in how you move. It's like you could retire now, and you could live several lifetimes, and you wouldn't have to do anything." You're like, "Yeah, that's true, but you understand that what you're doing is it there's a greater purpose in your life. Not it's not natural. It's a lot of it is for you. It's about you, but it's not all about you. That's the thing about it. There's more. It's always going to be like, well, there's more yet to come. Maybe you feel like I feel sometimes. I feel like I've lived like several different lifetimes. Like seriously, I feel like I lived like, several different, like if I had this kind of focus when I was, younger, man. But anyway, yeah, but somebody's getting a phone call soon. Somebody's gonna be reaching out to you. It's either by phone or by it's either by phone or email or something like that. But just, watch your phone. And it's like, one phone call leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. Yeah, we had to grow. We had to grow. We had to leave those things behind. It's like when, something the Bible says, for as I do as a child, when you grow, I'm kind of paraphrasing, I put away childish things, so we put away childish things. Not to say that we still can't go and have fun and all of that stuff. And, yeah, a lot of, yeah, we're going to love, you're going to love the life, that you live and all of the stuff like that. And people are going to love you for it. But it's like that old stuff, like, people go, hang out at the club and, just all that old, just that old mentality, the stuff that you did when you were like very, very, very young, So yeah. Whew. All right. So yeah. So that was today's topic, man. From chaos to clarity, lifestyle overhaul that shocked everyone. But as you're praying, moving forward, just pray for peace, pray for greater understanding, for what is to come. Just pray that you are, well, you will be beyond ready for those moments. That's the thing. You will be beyond ready. People, you may run into somebody that yet you haven't seen in a long time. They might say, you know, I always knew that you would go and do like just amazing stuff, like really just amazing world changing stuff, seriously. And you do it, you do it so effortlessly. But of course everybody's not going to see the hard work that you put in behind the scenes, so to speak. But I'm just saying now in your life you're going beyond, things are going to start to move, probably beyond your understanding. Probably beyond your understanding. Things are going to start to move. Things are shifting. Things have been doing this for a while now, but these divine calculations over your life are just amazing. So, and just know, of course, you deserve everything, because you might have stopped, but you picked back up, and you kept it moving, so to speak. You know what I mean? So, but all right, y'all, I am done for now. I'm gonna go ahead on and shut this bad boy down, and I will holler at y'all on tomorrow. But y'all have a good what's this Wednesday? But yeah, have a good hump day and all that good stuff. And thank y'all so much for hanging out. This is your first time watching. Don't forget to follow and all of that good stuff wherever you're watching. And I will holler at y'all on the flip. All right, y'all. Peace.